to the Morning Blend. John McGivern has been doing film, theater, and television for decades, but there's a reason for his longevity. He's funny, he's relatable, and people just love him.
That's true. Last week, I had the chance to have a heart-to-heart conversation with John about the pandemic, his show Around the Corner with John McGivern, and so much more. Take a look. Okay, so what do you keep busy with these days?
Well, eating, snacking. You know, not 2 hours ago, I was standing at my sink with a big thing of peanut butter and just a t-shirt on.
That is a great visual.
With a spoon. I'm so glad that we had this date because I showered and put on underpants. Do you know what I mean?
I saved you, is really what you're saying.
It's been great, though. You know, it's funny because we chatted before you turned on record, and you said that you're an extrovert, but you've enjoyed this. And yeah. People are surprised to hear that. In truth, like I'm really kind of an introvert. Like if you've ever been to a party with me, you'll be like, he's kind of quiet. And in fact,
so is Molly. She's an introvert too.
It's wild. So this I thought would be fine, and it really is fine. But I've sat on your yellow couch between you two, with you guys, and I've talked about how organized Steve and I are, and when everything is done, I've opened every drawer. You know, my shredder, if it had a voice, would be like, "Step back, get away from me," because everything is done, everything is dusted, everything is. So our house is in perfect shape. That it usually is anyway. But now we've done a really deep sort of organization. So 5 weeks, 6 weeks into this, there's not much more to do, and I'm thinking, oh, if we're here for another 6 weeks, I'm not sure.
I think something that's cool about this time is allowing people into our homes and allowing people to see a little bit more of us authentically and a little more intimately. And that's what I think is really cool. You're doing this Around the Condo series.
Yes.
And I got to hear about it because I just think it's super neat. And I watched the one where you showed it's like a valet door, and you open it and you can hang it used to be at the Knickerbocker to hang your clothes outside, right, for dry cleaning.
You would put them inside, and it looks like a coffin, so it's a shell of a door, and you would hang them in the middle of the night. They had a key to get just inside that shell, and they would take your clothes, and by the time you got up in the morning, you could open your side, and the clothes would be ready. So, you know, this building, the Knickerbocker, was built in 1927, finished in 1929, and when it went condo in the 80s, the smartest thing they could have done was to keep those original doors, they're called.
But your new season is airing of Around the Corner, right?
It is. I think we're on our 9th or 10th episode of season 9, 13 episodes. And I'm missing because, you know, people think that we shoot the show in the summer and the fall, and then we're done. I am done. I'm an independent contractor, and we spend 5 days for each episode. So all summer and fall, we're usually shooting. But then when the season picks up, when it begins airing, we go back to those communities for a community preview before it airs on PBS. So I've missed all of that as well. You know, we have anywhere from, these have grown. You know, it used to be 100, 200 people would show up. Now it's anywhere from 500 to 1,200 people show up in these communities. And we show the show, and Lois Maurer and I, the producer, we get on stage and talk about making the show. We introduce the people who are in the show. And then we answer questions about what it was like to make the show in that community. So all of that has been missing this season as well. And it's just, everything's felt just a little shortchanged. You know?
Yeah, a little stunted. You mentioned Steve a couple times, your partner, and you guys have been together for 18 years, but you're together now 24/7, and people are talking about what it's like to be quarantined with their partner. And how has it been for you guys? Have you found like a new invigoration to the relationship? Have you had to separate and have your own time more?
It's the best.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's the best. First of all, we live in this condo where we have a lot of space, and we have these different spaces. As I said, we're back in the office right now, and we can be separate, which we do. Like in the morning, he enjoys a different kind of television than I do, and we're separate in the morning. We come together. We didn't realize that we both like are pretty good cooks. We're always
what are you making?
Well, so this was last night. Can I tell you what happened last night?
Please.
We said we're going to have leftover nights. Leftover night was last night. So we had a little bit of a pork tenderloin left. We had a couple chicken thighs left. We had a pork chop left. So it was like a Brazilian steakhouse.
You just need the big sword.
Exactly. Then he made these Brussels sprouts that he cooked in a cast iron skillet.
The only way.
White vinegar, like they weren't baked or they weren't in the oven where they were crispy and sort of burnt. They were the best Brussels sprouts I ever had. So we had this leftover meal that was like, this is the best meal we've ever had. And we've been eating really, really well, which is like, we got to get out of here.
Or we're not going to fit out the door, right?
Exactly. It's been fun. And it's been so like 2 nights ago, we're and we are very sort of scheduled. We're like infants. Like we need a schedule. So we go to bed about 9 o'clock. And as we're getting ready for bed, he said, there's not been one moment in all of these weeks that I've wanted to kill you, which is like, oh my God, that's so good.
Survival.
Because if somebody were to want to kill, it would be him wanting to kill me. I'm telling you, because he's just so kind of easygoing and just easy. So, and
this should be a new part of wedding vows, not in sickness and in health, but in sickness, health, and quarantine.
So right, it should be, because it really it shows it all and tells it all.
Okay, well, that was so much fun that we've got more. We're going to play the rest of the interview a little bit later in the show. You got to stay for that.
Yay, people want to see more. All right, and we just want to remind you, too, that the season finale of Around the Corner with John McGivern airs tonight at 7 p.m. on Milwaukee PBS. Welcome back. Comedian, actor, TV host John McGivern was supposed to join us a few weeks ago, but something very unexpected happened.
Yeah, last week we caught up, and, well, he makes me laugh. And he makes me cry. Here's the rest of our conversation that was supposed to be 6 minutes, but turned into so much more.
It seems like it's all positive for you. Have you enjoyed doing Zooms or FaceTimes, connecting with people electronically still? Or as an introvert, have you kind of shut some of that away and just enjoyed the private time?
I think, it's one thing to do it this way. And it works. And I think, if you're putting something out, which we try to, on Around the Corner with John McGivern Facebook page and on my Facebook page, we post once or twice a day new material just because we think it's important to stay connected. But that Zoom stuff, that stuff that's not like where I can touch somebody's arm and like it really is it's stilted and it's very odd not to be connected,
It's true. I feel the same thing because I'm somebody who feeds off energy. Like you, I used to do a lot of stage performance. And for me, not having the energy of a person there feels very blank. Yeah. And it's difficult. It's really difficult. So I like being able to see people and I like being able to interact. And it's helped me with my long distance friends and family a lot. Yeah. But I've enjoyed a little bit of the privacy and the time alone as well. So I think there's a balance that we're all learning about ourselves in a whole new way.
I come from this large family, and I've my muse and my stories is my mom, and my mother passed during this. So she passed. It was, in fact, it's 3 weeks ago today that my mom at the age of 92 passed. So it was a real lesson as well as, thank the Lord that we had a compassionate doctor who said, you need to come in and you need to get your brothers, sisters in, and you've got to be with her. So the last 10 hours of my mom's life, which can I tell you, on a Tuesday, she was good. Wednesday, she didn't feel well. Thursday, she passed. So I thank God that that's how it all worked out for my mom. But, she was 92 and I'm like, I was not ready for that. She was 92, but you're just never, ever ready for it. And, but I thank the Lord for my brothers and sisters and my partner and my nieces and nephews who, through all of this, there's that base of support and connection and feeling the same way. And my mom was cremated, and I've shared this story that all she wanted, This is what she wanted. When she passed, she wanted to have a big party. She's an Irish Catholic gal. And at the party, she wants the Eddie Butts band. Swear to God. So the Saturday of Thanksgiving, we've hired Eddie Butts. We're doing a 200-person party down at a venue in downtown Milwaukee, and we're gonna celebrate my mom's brilliant life. Is what we're gonna do.
That's incredible.
She was cremated, and she's now living on a shelf in the library in my house. So my mom is with me every morning, and it's always, when I called my mom, it would always be like, "Hello, Mother," and every morning it's like, "Hello, Mother." So the fact that she's in a library, because her life work was books, and she was a trade book buyer for her career, and so she's in the midst of books, and it's if through all of the fact that we dealt with that through all of this as well is something. So
she sounds incredible. I can hear that pain in your voice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss, John.
Thanks.
Any thoughts you want to leave viewers with? I think right now is a unique time for everyone, and it's really neat that you allowed me to kind of come into your home, into your study, and
Sure.
chat with you. So yeah, what's next for you?
Who knows? As you've, the old adage that this too shall pass could not be more hoped for right now. And whatever this looks like on the other side of what this is now, we're just going to have to go with what it is. I pray that the gatherings of those that sat in front of me on a stage will return. I pray that the TV show comes back. I pray, all of that stuff. And in the end, if it all looks different, you know what? I'm ready for that. So
yeah, I love that. We're all adapting together.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining me, John.
You're the best, Tiff. Thanks.
I love
can we
you.
see the back of your head today, please? Oh my Lord! Look at her. Keep up the good work. You do great work. Thanks.
Yeah, I love you.
Well, we're going to post the full unedited version of our interview on our Facebook page, but don't forget to catch the last episode of Around the Corner tonight at 7 o'clock on PBS.
It's such a great chat, Tiff. That's awesome. He's a great guy.
He is.